Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, June 9th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I value my thoughtful awareness. I just tried to do that and I couldn't do it because there's a song playing in my head and it's loud. The song is It's Getting Yod in Here. So take off all your clothes. And then it just keeps going. I am getting so yod, right? Okay, so we have a yoddy day, but we have some bigger shifts to talk about. Right around the time of me recording this, we just had Mercury shift out of the sign of Jupiter, out of the sign of Gemini, where Jupiter is also finishing up, and moved into Cancer. And today on Monday, we have Jupiter following the path. Jupiter moving out of the sign of Gemini and into the sign of Cancer. So we have a lot of things to talk about, including the yachtiness. Let's actually just start with Mercury and Cancer since that's the order of operations. So Mercury is going to move through Cancer like a whip. It's going to be pretty fast. And it's going to give us a little bit of a taste of what's coming in as Jupiter is going to make it bigger. So Mercury brings a mind meld between the mental energies and then the emotions of Cancer. And it's always interesting to me when we have a combination of this. I have a sort of a combination of this as my moon is in the third house. And the third house is the house of Gemini, and the moon is ruled by Cancer. And so with this energy, I find myself particularly and emotionally moved by thoughts and words and stories and any level of communication. I really feel it. And so we all are going to go through this to some level over the next basically 2.5 weeks. Like I said, moving through really fast of getting a little extra feeling with our thoughts. And I think this can be helpful because it can actually help you be like, oh my God, these are thoughts that are like, yeah, I want to keep thinking these kinds of thoughts. And it can also be like, oh, and this is what these stories do to me. These are how these stories sink my battleship. So be aware of how your stories are like spiraling you up or sinking your battleship over the next, like I said, 2.5 weeks. It's till I think the 26th. Cheat sheet 26 that it moves into the sign of Leo. And so fast and furious. Now, what is going to be interesting is we're going to get a taste of these squares that we're going to have coming in with Jupiter. So even today, Mercury is going to be squaring Saturn and squaring Neptune. We're going to have Jupiter rolling through and doing that, and then the sun rolling through and doing that. These squares feel like they're going to be extra emotional. Some of what we may have seen last week, what I considered the folly, right? The folly energy, I think is kind of a preview of that. But I think it's going to be on a larger level. It's interesting because Saturn and Neptune in Aries can bring out the warrior. And it's squared, which is kind of what is the right word? I can't get the word. Contentious, that's the word. Contentious energy with Cancer. Now, Cancer is interesting because it can be very compassionate and nurturing and empathetic, but this energy can definitely rile both the sign of Cancer and the sign of Aries up. And so they're kind of like barking at each other. I also think that this can stir up a lot of personal deep wounding. Cancer is so interesting because Cancer also represents our home, our family, our foundation. And Aries energy represents who we are. And so a lot of us have conditioning and wounding from our childhood, and you may find these energies bubbling up and being part of the experience. So very interesting. So Mercury gives us a taste today of that. We wake up with Mercury square Saturn, and it might be like two things. You may like feel at the same time, up and at 'em, I have all these things that I need to do, like the shoulddiness, and then you also may be like, I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to do anything. So you may have a little bit of that going on in the morning, and then we have it again later in the afternoon when Mercury squares Neptune, and that we're going to have to be very aware of the illusion. And is the illusion in you? Is it your story that you're telling? Is it an illusion coming from outside? Probably. There's always all those stories happening out there, right? But that may feel, again, a little contentious for you. Now, amidst this, oh my God, we have Jupiter shifting signs. So Jupiter is slated to shift at 2:02 p.m. Pacific time. Now, I always mention when these planets shift, feel what you feel. Some people feel the astro early, and I'm not going to tell you that you're not feeling Jupiter in Cancer. Some feel it a little later. You know, some feel it on the nose. It's all good wherever you feel it. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just working with the energies the way you work with the energies. But that shift is going to go from really strong mental to zero Cancer. And the image that I got is like talking, and then going and like covering yourself with blankets in bed. So Jupiter in Cancer for the next year. It will be in Cancer until, I believe it's June 30th, 2026. So year plus we have of Jupiter in Cancer. The last time it was in Cancer was 2013 to 2014. If you can remember any of those energies that were going on for you then. But Jupiter makes everything bigger. And so Jupiter in Cancer is going to be an excellent time for feeling your way through things, processing emotions, processing latent emotions, processing new emotions that come up. You may also find a lot of shifts, for better or for worse, happening with your family, your home. Now, when I say for better or for worse, Jupiter is the planet of good. Beneficial planet for sure. But I always tell people, I'm like, Jupiter sometimes moves things around like a chess game, which can cause issues. And I will tell you that Gaia Blooming, my Gaia Blooming Facebook page, that's like how Gaia Blooming was born, was like through a Facebook page, was in the Jupiter return, place where Jupiter was in the sky when Gaia Blooming started, when Gaia Blooming disappeared from Facebook. And we now have answers what that was, right? Hacked, pirated, who knows how, but that's what happened. And it's probably gone and will have its own rebirth. But obviously that didn't feel very good to me, right? Like, I'm still like shock and awe and grieving and like, what do you want, universe? Right? Like, still in that place with that. But a Jupiter return is a good thing. There's a lot of actually really good astro for Gaia Blooming, and also for me, in and through all of these things. And so I'm trusting it's good. But I'm telling you this because sometimes Jupiter plays a very intense chess game. And sometimes it feels like a loss, and what it is a really big payback coming, but you got to make some of those moves. So be aware of that with these energies. Jupiter in Cancer is an exalted place, so it's supposed to be really good. And it depends what your relationship with Cancer is. Cancer can be challenging, right? But if you can allow yourself to feel your feels, be willing to work with your family stuff, take time to be slow and steady and nurture yourself. And also, I think that Jupiter in Cancer is a beautiful time to connect with your foundation, meaning your roots, your ancestral roots. Now, I feel like with like Pisces energy, we can connect to other lifetimes, but this is like your family line, connecting into that family line. That can be really wonderful. With Jupiter in Cancer, you do have to be aware, as with anything with Jupiter, of going overboard. Going overboard with your emotions. That's like getting yourself in the deep end and not knowing how to swim. Like learning how to regulate and support yourself and support your emotions. That's what you want to do. And so that's what I mean. Like learn to regulate yourself to support yourself through this. Sometimes Cancer also likes to go in the direction of comfort. And Jupiter in Cancer could get, I think the Aries square is going to make sure it doesn't get too comfortable. But, watch for that energy regardless. Yes. And if you're swimming in the deep end, bring a friend with you. All right. So let's look at this other stuff. We're going to go deeper into that as we move in and through, but that's good for now, I think. The YODS today. Oh my God, I have to look at the chart as I'm doing this. So we have multiple YODS happening. We have a YOD pointing at Mercury in Cancer. And what we have feeding in is the moon moving into Sagittarius today, helping give us a broader perspective, and Pluto in Aquarius. And so what I think is happening here, moon in Sagittarius is reminding Mercury in Cancer, like, perspective matters. And if you are south noding in Virgo, if you're hyper focusing on something a little bit too much, it can sink your battleship. So moon in Sagittarius reminding us to take a larger perspective. And Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius in this equation, I feel like, is reminding you that you may be also processing, carrying, holding somebody else's vibrational energy, which is also part of what you're doing. That can be part of the energy of Cancer that we don't want to necessarily do, is absorbing like a sponge everybody else's emotional energy. So be very aware of those vibrational happenings. We also have a fast-moving YOD. These are all fast-moving because of the moon being a part of it. A fast-moving YOD with Mercury in Cancer and Venus in Taurus focusing on the moon in Sagittarius. And so that focal point in the moon, again, is like, are you having a broader perspective? Venus in Taurus is like, what matters to you? What is the value to you? If this does not have any value to you, why are you investing so much of yourself, so much of your emotions, so much of your energy into it? So that's another interesting YOD. I saw 3. What is my other YOD? Because right now I'm like, do we have another? I know that we did, but those are the ones that I'm seeing right now as I'm hyper fixating on the chart. Was it that? No, it's not that. I think maybe it was just those 2. I feel like that there's another, but I'm just brains are feeling the Mercury at this very moment. I do want to say that it's also interesting that while it'll be a little bit wide, we're also going to have that YOD pointing at Jupiter. And the Jupiter aspect is, it's okay to feel what you feel. Bring your life raft, your life jacket, a friend in the deep end, but it's still okay to feel what you feel. Remember the energy of the vibrations. Remember to, sometimes you gotta open up your perspective to help. So, I wish I could say that was it for the day, but wow, this is a packed energy day. We also have a Venus-Pluto square happening. Oh joy, right? Amidst all of this. So, Venus and Taurus, Pluto, this feels so much about what's happening in the world right now. And it's a lot. And it feels heavy, and the vibrational energy of things is blah in this. And Venus in Taurus is like, I know none of this really feels very good. You gotta feel that not goodness, right? You've gotta feel it. But then also remember that you can shift and at the same time see the beauty, feel the beauty, experience the beauty of the world in your life. That may be part of these YODs too, and the Venus part of the YOD. For those of you who don't know what a YOD is, the universe is like, look at this. This is so important. So, like, your process of feeling right now is so important, but also to look from a bigger picture. And I want to remind all of you, the universe, God, spirit, universe, can take the nefarious and use it for good. And all of us can channel so much love and goodness into the world too. So please remember that amidst these really intense, ridiculous energies. I also want to mention that there's healing energy coming in on Tuesday. We have Mars and Chiron connecting early on Tuesday. And so you may feel called to take healing action. And that healing action, even though so much is happening out there, the healing action may be what you do for yourself right now. And recognize what you do for yourself, what you heal for yourself, does help the world. I know it can feel selfish sometimes, but any healing work we do helps the world. So let's look at these cards. Top of the cards is the Empress. Cancer represents mother energy, and we have this version of the Empress. So mother energy, mother, nurturing energy, calling that in for yourself, and calling that in just for the world in general to receive the kind of nurturing that it needs. And I think there's a creative aspect to that, which is really beautiful. We've got the Outsider. This is inner child energy, and Jupiter is going to be at 0 for the next few days. Plus these squares with Mercury and Aries, it may feel a little icky. The world may not necessarily feel very safe for yourself, for your inner children, for your actual kids. And that's where you've got to like nurture yourself, nurture your safety, nurture your connection with the universe. Slowing down. Between Venus and Taurus and Mercury and Jupiter now moving into Cancer, slow and easy is going to do it. Now, Jupiter at 29, oh my gosh. I am a 29 Gemini rising. I was like, I am shaking. Like, it took a lot to ground myself this morning with Mercury and Jupiter sitting on my ascendant. I was like, is this a blood sugar issue? And then I was like, oh no, this is a Jupiter-Mercury issue. And when I did my grounding, like, I was like, okay. You may still be able to tell, though, because I'm speaking a mile a minute. So slow down. Get connected. Jupiter, what I was trying to say before I told you my whole life story was Jupiter will be in Gemini till 2 p.m. Pacific time. And that 29 degree, it's shenanigan-y and may have very mercurial shenanigans. Communications may be weird. Technology may be weird. Your nervous system may be stirred up. So where you can be slow and steady and connect in, that will be helpful. We got the new Vision card. And I love this. For Mercury and Jupiter still being in such close cahoots, as well as these YODS that are happening, this is a call for a shift in perspective. And so just seeing where you may need to shift your perspective. Again, open up your horizon could be helpful. And finally, we've got sharing. Where can you be the friend in the deep end with your friend and bringing the life raft? Where can you be that light? Because there's going to be some who are going to feel this energy very intensely. From Cat Chaos, beyond the Empress, we've got the Chariot, and the Chariot does represent Cancer energy. Back of the card, gorgeousness. So, you know, we're moving forward. We're winning. Metatron, wisdom, this feels connected to that Moon in Sagittarius YOD energy that we've got going on. So, you know, staying close to the energy of wisdom. Crocus, cheerfulness. And it says, it's spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart. That's beautiful. We are still in spring, so that's on point. The love of your dragon reaches out to you. The realm of your truth is opening up. You know, Cancer is quite intuitive, and so you may find that energy, deeper layers, excuse me, tickle in my throat, deeper layers of the energy speaking to you. And finally, time to say goodbye. Something is about to end for now. So this could be Jupiter finishing up its realm in Gemini. But like I said, sometimes things need to shift around a little bit when Jupiter moves into a sign, especially if you are a Cancer ascendant, a Cancer sun, a Cancer moon. You may, or even Jupiter in Cancer, you may feel some of these shifts. I promise you it's for good. And I'm telling you that from my own experience. Even though I have not experienced my new surgence of whatever this Gaia blooming saga is, you'll get to see it as it happens. As it happens for me, with me, and to all of you who are here with me. So, that was long, but wow, it's a lot of energy. You can book a reading. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and may your guiding light be strong, and know that you can trust your process. Namaste.